Welcome back to Brother Wolf, Sister Moon Divination. Welcome back, my dear fellow spirit workers. I hope you're doing well. You know, Spirit has me on a mission to share an important message, whoever needs to hear this, about respect. People dealing with disrespectful people can be challenging. In a previous video, I mentioned about being a spirit worker, being a light worker, that we can tend to attract certain negative qualities, or people are envious of us, or, as I had stated in that previous video, that a lot of times it's not us, it's them. Like, in other words, you may encounter people that are disrespectful, or who treat you badly, and not all the time, but sometimes it's a reflection of themselves. They're projecting. You giving off light, you being a quality, good, decent, moral person, forces them to then look back at themselves, right? It's unpleasant. This is classic Freudian psychology. It's projection. And oftentimes, you know, we irk people even though we've done nothing. It's just our existence. Not all the time, and we're not perfect, certainly, but this must be addressed. That if someone treats you without respect, you can't react, okay? Because sometimes people want to bait you, okay? So whether that's at work, in family situations, we need to set boundaries. So I'm going to read. I came across this really good advice on dealing with disrespectful people, and Spirit has called me to give this message because I feel that maybe someone who's watching this video is dealing with this. And so it's something that I want to share. Okay? And remember, 95% of the time, it's because of that. We are light workers, we're spirit workers, and we have an energy of light, and some people are just irked by that. Or, like I said, it's a projection. They feel badly about themselves, and so they'll, attract a certain type of, direct it to a certain type of person. And oftentimes, as spirit workers, like I said, we give off a different energy, a different vibration. When they're among their other low life, people who have no boundaries kind of people, they get along because, that's that level. And so I choose, whenever I can, avoid situations like that because it's just not worth getting sucked into something or being baited, out of their own jealousy, resentment, insecurity, whatever it might be. So let me just go ahead and share this with you. Okay, so dealing with disrespectful people can be challenging. But there are strategies that can help maintain your well-being and respond effectively. Number one, stay calm. I know, easier said than done, but that's part of it. If you know in advance there's a trap, or that's their goal, is to get a reaction, because it makes them feel better about themselves, right? Let's say you are a more successful person, a light worker, a spirit worker, you're giving off that different vibration, and they want to bring you down a peg. They resent that, that you have this higher vibration. There are people like that, unfortunately. So stay calm, number one. Keep your emotions in check. Reacting angrily may escalate the situation. Take a deep breath and focus. Focus on staying composed. Okay? 2, set boundaries. Politely but firmly communicate that disrespectful behavior is not acceptable. Let the person know that you won't tolerate disrespect and state your boundaries clearly. 3, do not take it personally. Often, disrespectful behavior reflects the other person's issues, not yours, which is exactly what I'm saying about being a light worker and having that different vibration. So often disrespectful behavior reflects the other person's issues, not yours. Try not to internalize their comments or actions. Number 4. Assertive communication. Express yourself calmly and confidently using I statements, such as, I feel upset when you speak to me that way. This can help avoid sounding confrontational while still addressing the issue. Okay? And the other thing I want to say, speaking of that energy that we're talking about as light workers, as spirit workers, many times we're empathic. And so that draws certain types, narcissists, people who want to hustle somebody, they may mistake our kindness with weakness. And that's always a mistake. And I know that you know what I'm talking about. Okay? But we can't lose our cool. Number 5, choose your battles, right? Sometimes it's best to ignore minor disrespectful comments, evaluate the situation, and decide if responding is necessary or if walking away is a better choice. And I'm going to pick the latter, because it is best. You're never going to reason with people like that. You're never going to convince them. You'll never get an apology from those kind of people. Sometimes the best thing to do is just calmly walk away and never put yourself in that position to be in their company. Even if it's family. Sorry. And you could be diplomatic about it. Oh, I wish I could go, but there's this thing at work. Thank you so much. Maybe next time. That's it. Okay? Number 6. Seek support. If the disrespect is ongoing, or in a more serious context such as work or in relationships, consider seeking support from others or addressing the issue through appropriate channels like human resources or a mediator. Number 7, know when to walk away. If the situation becomes hostile or toxic and you're not able to change the person's behavior, it may be best to walk away. Protect your mental and emotional health. And of course, if it's like a work thing, if a person's playing passive aggressive and it goes unnoticed, but then you have this big reaction, then you look bad. See how that works? So protect your mental health and emotional health. Walk away. Okay, setting boundaries. And so we have to have also self-respect. An example of self-respect is setting boundaries in relationships, whether personal or professional, and asserting them when necessary. For instance, if someone consistently cancels plans with you at the last minute, self-respect means calmly expressing how this behavior affects you and asking for more consideration. Rather than accepting being treated poorly, you communicate your needs and hold others accountable. You prioritize your own well-being, and if the other person continues disrespecting your time or feelings, you may choose to limit your interactions with them. And again, you can think of things and be diplomatic and just like, oh, I'm good. No, I can't. I wish I could join you for that. I appreciate the invitation, but no, thank you. That's it. And that's it. Eventually they'll get the message and just avoid them. You prioritize your own well-being, and if the other person continues disrespecting your time or feelings, you may choose to limit your interactions with them. This approach demonstrates that you value yourself and expect others to do the same. And that's right. We always are respectful to people. And so when someone is not reciprocating that respect, no, you have to, in a very politically correct, strategic, all the things we've just mentioned sort of way, not tolerate that. And it may mean by distancing yourself, walking away, all of the above. So just to summarize, when dealing with disrespectful people, in order to deal with that in an effective way, involves managing your response and maintaining your dignity. Here are several strategies that you can use. Stay calm and collected. Pause before reacting. When confronted with disrespect, take a moment to breathe and collect your thoughts. Reacting impulsively can escalate the situation. Avoid raising your voice. Keep your tone calm, even if the other person is disrespectful. This can help prevent further conflict. 2. Assess the situation. Evaluate the context. Sometimes disrespect can be a result of external factors or misunderstandings. Consider whether the person is intentionally being disrespectful or if they are unaware how they are coming across. Choose when to engage. Not all disrespect requires a response. In some cases, it may be best to let it go and not give the person the satisfaction of a reaction. And number 3, set boundaries. This is one of my favorites. Speak up. Let the person know their behavior is not acceptable. Use I statements such as, I feel disrespected when you speak to me like that. Be firm, polite but firm. Politely but firmly express what behavior is not acceptable. Setting boundaries helps protect your dignity. Number 4, don't take it personally. Understand it's about them, not you. Often disrespect reflects more about the person's own issues, insecurities, or lack of respect for themselves. It's not a reflection of your worth. Detach emotionally. Try not to internalize the disrespect or let it affect your self-esteem. Number 5, respond assertively, not aggressively. Use assertive communication. Express yourself confidently and respectfully without attacking the other person. For instance, I don't appreciate that comment. Do not speak to me that way. I'd like to move on from this situation or that comment. Or moving forward, I'm going to require that you speak to me respectfully. Otherwise, this conversation is over. Okay? Walk away if needed. Remove yourself from toxic situations. If the disrespect persists or the situation becomes hostile, walking away may be the best option for you for your peace of mind. Protect your well-being. If the disrespect continues in an environment like work or a relationship, consider distancing yourself or seeking outside support. Such as human resources, therapy, support organizations. Okay. Number 7, lead by example. Model respect. Continue to treat others with respect, even if they are not reciprocating. This can encourage more positive interaction in the future. So hopefully this message reach the people who needed to hear it. I mean, it's not a big stretch given, it seems like everyone has lost their mind since the pandemic, right? And maybe even before that, but certainly, and this is a timing thing, those of you who follow astrology, messages from spirit, just your intuition, that the pendulum swings back and forth, and so sometimes situations are really tense and people are afraid and their nerves are raw, and then other times everyone's chill and everything's smooth and general, and so these energies come and go. And of course, I am a proponent that certainly astrology and the changing temperatures and climate and astrology and all that is a factor. Okay, so I hope that helped. Be well. Demand respect. Don't let anybody disrespect you. But be strategic about it. Don't get baited. Don't then, because maybe that's what they want. They resent you. Maybe you're more successful. And in order to bring you down a peg, they might say something insulting, knowing that you'll react a certain way. And then it makes them feel better. Ah, look, they weren't so secure as they thought they were. They're not so great after all. It's pathetic, but there are people who resent even a minor success or anything that you have. They don't celebrate it. They resent it. And thankfully, not everyone's like that. There are, of course, many good, decent, quality people with morals and ethics. And we can attract more people like that to us through spirit work, through our own intentions, through all those different ways that we talk about. But I wanted to be very laser-like on this because spirit gives me this vibe that somebody needed to hear that message. Okay, so use those strategies. Easier said than done in some situations, but realize that might be their motive, to get under your bonnet, to be a bee in your bonnet, or to just one-up you just for pettiness, just because they feel insecure, and versus not seeing it for what it was. Like, oh, okay, this person's trying to bait me because they're a loser and they have this low energy, and if I engage with them, it makes my energy go down. And in a sense, they win. Isn't that sad? But that's unfortunately how some people are. These low vibrational, resentful, jealous, envious, what have you people. Okay. And my feelings about evil eye and NVIDIA, very well known in the spirit work world and in hoodoo and all kinds of traditions. Get yourself a little anti-evil eye. Bless it. Smudge it. Let's do it right now. I've done this so many times, but I'll show you. Remember, we have beginner, advanced, and intermediate in our class and our sessions together. So, this might be the first time someone is introduced to this. So these little things, and I've talked about amulets and talismans, put some little, and they come in different shapes, some evil eye, anoint it, send away any envy, any bad intentions against me or my family, guard and protect my home and all that, right? And so consider that. And they're online. You can get these anywhere. So many little examples and different traditions and cultures, but many traditions and cultures have some kind of thing where they recognize that not everyone's nice. Some people don't wish you well and that kind of thing. And I do feel these can deflect symbolically or energetically, if nothing else, it gives you that reminder of a shield of protection, So consider that anti-evil eye when there's envious, low vibration people. But more than anything is our response. Being dignified, setting boundaries, and seeing it for what it is. We're better than that, And I'm not saying that in a condescending, rude way, but certainly if there's negative, low vibrational people, that's not okay. I'm all about love and peace and all that, but we have to set boundaries, and not everyone has our good intention, has our best interest in mind. Completely the opposite. So part of being a spirit worker, empath, is to recognize not everyone's nice out there. And you might be very nice, likely are a very nice, kind, loving, considerate, moralistic person, but it doesn't mean everyone else is. You're playing by a totally different, these hustlers and narcissists out there, they're playing with a whole different set of cards, a whole different playbook, and we would be shocked. What? How could you do that? Where are your morals and ethics? But they're out there. They just are. And so we have to be mindful of that. And as I said, being light workers, being empaths, we give off a different vibe, and that might be attract, these kind of narcissists or envy and that sort of thing. So just wanted to share that message with you, okay? Blessings, be well, and as always, God is love.